I got a question. I got a question for the ladies. Ladies, I need some help on this, okay? Seriously. Why? When you have a one-night stand, not that any of you here ever have. So the guys turn to the girls and be like, what the hell are you laughing at, bitch? Why don't you ask your roommate? Happens every day. All right. Why does the woman turn to the man and say this? Don't get the wrong idea about me. I've never done this before. Really? You've never done this before? Because you just did that. Perfect. You seem to enjoy it, too. You just ran your tongue across my balls like it was Ben & Jerry's Chunky Monkey ice cream. You've never done this before? Well, hell, we have a hidden talent. You should join the circus. That's what she said to me, right? Then we're making out, right? This girl and I are making out. Everything's normal. You know what she wanted to do? Check this out. She wanted to play with her vibrator in front of me. Yeah. But I didn't know what she meant because we're making out. She said this. She goes, do you mind if I go get my little friend? No. Go get your little friend. I thought she had a hot midget roommate. I didn't know. Stop poking me. Stop poking me.
You gotta be first. You gotta be first.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Claude Stuart, hilarious stand-up comedian, actor, writer, and he's just now been recently seen on Funny You Should Ask. He's a writer on that show with Howie Mandel, Tiffany Haddish, Louis Anderson, R.I.P., John Lovitz, and he's written sketches with Jay Leno Uncovered on The Tonight Show. You've seen him on The Late Late Show, been on Will and Grace, tons of commercials. He's just an awesome guy, someone I've known for over 10 years. Here in the studio, the Poop Dollar Studios, give it up for Claude Stuart, everybody.
Hey, thank you so much. Thank you for that kind intro, man. That intro was longer than my act. That's very nice of you. I appreciate that clip, too. By the way, our viewers listening and watching, that clip was brought to you by Cancel Culture. So it's nice to be here, man.
Yeah, it's good to see you.
Dude, it's been a while, man. We've done we've done every kind of show together.
Yeah. No, I know. Dive bars, clubs, and you were nice enough to have me feature for you when you were in Chicago at Zany's in St. Charles.
Yeah, that was awesome, man. God, that was maybe back in like 09 or something, right?
Yeah. And I think I might have met you in 07 maybe. Mm-hmm. Yeah, at the Haha Comedy Club. And, I was just starting out, I was just doing what I can to get stage time. And I saw you because I was DJing, for Terry.
That's right.
Yeah,
you were the DJ.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Terry would book you, and you'd come on the weekend or during the week to work out material and stuff like that. And once I started producing shows there, comedy shows, I got to book whoever I wanted, and you were one of the first people that I, wanted to book to have you on my Tuesday show, Tuesday Funnies.
Thank you, brother. Yeah. That was a good show too.
Yeah, thank you, man. Yeah.
It's funny because you had a show there, and then you would have a lot of shows pop up after that, right?
Yeah.
And the joke that I used to do with you is a lot of people don't know this. Alegria is actually Spanish for the stage is next to the door. Remember? There'd always be like a bar. Yeah. Everybody walks in. You couldn't walk in unnoticed, right? It was right by the stage.
Yeah, totally. People would be coming in, crossing the stage, and you'd be like, oh, yeah, hey, come on in.
I remember, gosh, I don't know why I'm blanking on this. It was such a great bar. You had it for a long time.
Yeah.
What was it, in NoHo? What was the one I'm blanking on?
The Park Bar?
Yes.
Or the Scene?
No.
There was like so many.
The Scene is the one that was always on a Wednesday, I think, with the dollars hanging and everything.
Yeah.
No, I love the Scene. I actually have two different pictures of me, Adam Richmond, and who is it? George, the older guy that was like there every night.
Yeah.
That dude. Yeah.
Pops. Yeah. Unfortunately, he passed away.
I was gonna ask you, but when did he pass away?
Ago. Yeah, not too long ago. Maybe like a year and a half ago.
Oh man. He was a great guy. He was always drinking like Nick Nolte bar hopping at Mardi Gras. know, like
smoking like 2 packs
I know.
a day.
I'm surprised he lived as long as he did.
Yeah, I know. He had a good run.
Yeah,
he had a really
good for him.
Run. Yeah,
he kind of looked like a very short Sam Elliott. You know, like
yeah.
You know, wow, that was. By the way, this is random. I just mentioned Sam Elliott. I just saw Roadhouse the other day again, which is a classic. I just love that line where he's the 4 rednecks confront him, right, and they go, "Hey, buddy, you looking for a fight?" And he's like, "I didn't come here to show you my dick." How do you not love him?
Yeah.
You know?
Oh no, he's great. Oh man, it's so funny.
But we did. I remember it was the Park Bar, and I specifically remember this. Some dude. And he was a large man.
Yeah.
There's a reason I'm saying this. He was trying to grab the mic and do comedy. I don't know if you remember this, but he wasn't a comedian.
Oh, okay.
He was a drunk at the bar.
Yeah.
Finally, you just kind of grabbed it, and you were very, very smooth about it.
Yeah,
But you were mean and smooth at the same time. It was brilliant. You kind of grabbed it. You're like, thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
Open mics up here, buffets over there. All right, next.
That's great. Yeah.
But you got him to get out.
Right. Yeah. No, it was like, years of doing those kind of shows where I just, got more, better at, controlling that wild crowd, because they were wild and you never knew what was going to happen because most of them didn't expect a comedy show at that dive bar,
Oh, it's like you were interrupting their darts,
right,
a lot of the times.
Or pool game,
Oh,
or, that was one thing about that dive bar, the Park Bar, is that it had so we'd be competing with somebody's 8-ball shot,
Oh yeah,
so clank.
And that could go either way because if they make the shot, you could be halfway through a joke and you hear, thank you, you guys love the setup, Well, if they miss it, damn it, like I haven't even done the punchline. Give me a second,
Yeah.
Totally, dude. Let me ask you this: would all the shows you produced, what would be like in the top 5 like craziest things that you remember? Like,
well, one guy, he came up to the stage, and I was kind of like just, heckling. I wasn't heckling. I was bagging on him. I said he had an Eminem hip hop starter kit, the way he looked, his outfit, and he's like, I just got out of jail, man.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, exactly. And then, I wouldn't let up. I kept on going in on him, And then he got up on stage and he was right next to me.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So you know how awkward that could get.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What'd you do?
I stood my ground,
Cool.
I stood my ground, maybe because I was holding the mic stand pole. So maybe I had a little more courage, but yeah, that wasn't a very smart thing for me to do,
I've got a pole.
Yeah.
Sure, you got a teardrop tattoo.
Right.
I have a mic stand.
Yeah.
Well, what finally happened? What diffused it? Did he finally?
So finally, since he saw that, I didn't let, because that could have went any which way.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So it could have went any which way. And luckily for me, nothing happened. I stayed my ground, and I think I just told him to sit back down. And then he did, and
Oh, good.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
Now, see, you're like you're a muscular guy. You know what I mean? Like I'm a skinny guy. I got to fight dirty. You know what I mean? That's my only. I'm 5'11", like 126. Like these are supermodel statistics.
Yeah.
Female supermodel statistics.
Yeah.
I always tell the ladies, I'm like, most women want my body, but not the same way I want theirs. But I would have to. I'd have to get something else besides a pole to defend myself.
Well, it's funny because like even though you would still go into the crowd and make fun of them, and I remember, but I guess you have grace, and there's skill to that,
There's a certain tactic. Well, I think you can. I mean, I know I do this. I take the approach of I make fun of myself first, and then I make fun of others. So then you're kind of putting yourself on common ground.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's different when you're hosting a show, you're doing your thing,
right.
And then next thing you know, an inmate is joining you.
Oh man,
that's tough.
Yeah.
But that would be up there, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
No, it's tough. But I think one of the hardest nights I did stand-up comedy is when the Dodgers lost against the Astros in the World Series.
Was that at the scene?
At the scene.
I was there.
Were you
yes,
there? Oh,
totally. Yeah. No,
There
that was crazy. I think I had the fortune of going up after the game was over.
Okay.
So then I could kind of be like, hey, did they win? Everybody was cheering, like, who was against them? And then we'd pick on the people against them. But you had to host the whole thing.
Right.
Yeah.
No, but they lost that World Series.
That was
remember? Yeah, so they.
Oh yes. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so they were pissed and drunk, and
taking it out on you. I know.
Yeah, exactly. So
God,
I mean, doing shows around LA, we compete with the Lakers and them on, because all the places that I produced comedy shows always had a TV on too.
Yes.
So not only did we have to compete with the darts and the pool table, we had to compete with the Lakers playing in the playoffs. And that's probably one of the toughest things.
Oh, I know.
Right?
I know. Do you know Bob Oshak?
I think so.
Yeah, he writes for Bill Maher show now. But I remember he used to have a bit where he's like, "Man, you're at a crappy comedy gig when you hear, hey, the comedian's here, hit the mute button."
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But it happens, man.
It does. It does. But we got to work out our jokes. What are you gonna do, right?
It's that or the mirror,
right? Yeah, exactly.
You need something to feed off of,
right? Yeah. No, I know totally, man. Did you end up doing any Zoom comedy shows during the pandemic?
I did it. And by the way, just so you know, I'm doubting my sanity right now because literally just 2 days ago, I put on deodorant and cologne for a Zoom meeting.
Really?
I don't know if that says like more about me or less about my sanity. But that's how we prepare for Zoom, right? It's like you put on cologne, you put on deodorant, but no pants.
Right.
But yeah, I did. I did do Zoom too. And yeah, man, I mean, some comics were against it, but I'm like, what are you gonna do? It's 2020.
Right.
I know for me, I would go crazy if I didn't perform.
Right.
So I just went with it, man. It was like a lot of the comics in the 90s when like, oh, not everybody's getting a sitcom and the clubs are drying up. We still got to do it, right? So you find a way to make it work. But I enjoyed it. Just so everybody listening, to comedians, not every Zoom show is a utopia. I mean, I'll be honest, some are really fun, but I did one. Oh my God, it was this one Zoom show. It was exactly like dry humping. Dude, it was exactly like trying. It was frustrating. Yeah. It was painful. Oh. And nobody came. Memories of 8th grade, right?
Oh, dude, yeah. What do you mean, last week?
Parking lot. What are you going to do? No, just so you know, Eric, I know that I know we've been in touch, but I'm not sure if you know this. So I kept my place in LA, like all throughout, right? But in 2020, I didn't know what was happening, man. Like there was riots, things were shutting down, and I have a son,
you have a son.
And he's about to turn 8. So he would have still been 6 at this point, but I kept my place in LA, but we went to live with my mother-in-law in San Diego. Okay. And my wife's mom, and she's, kind of disabled. She can't walk upstairs. So it was an interesting win-win. So we could help her out. Yeah. But she had a 5-bedroom home, which is bigger than my spot in LA. The little guy had more room to bounce off the walls. Right. And he's like me. I mean, he jumps around like a coked up ferret, so it's crazy, but that part worked out. However, dude, I love her to death, but she had the news blaring all the time, right? Oh, wow. The news, and she had a nonstop squawking parrot. Okay,
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Two perpetually ravenous dogs, right? Always trying to get your food. And it's like all this insanity, like at every meal. Like my joke in 2020 is like everybody was home praying for a vaccine, right? Yeah. Dude, I was praying for COVID. I'm like, go ahead, grandma, cough in my mouth, wrap it up, But what I would do is I retreated upstairs a lot at night, and I either did shows or I wrote, The blessing of that was actually I wrote a lot of movies, I wrote a lot of TV shows, like stuff I always kind of wanted to work on, So, I mean, the good thing about 2020, man, there's a lot of productivity. And I have a few of those in development right now. So that's a good thing. Because, I mean, every night, man, I'm like, all right, let's write if I can't go out, So,
wow, that's amazing.
So that part was really cool. But again, I guess we're lucky we had an upstairs. So I had a little retreat,
Oh, that's cool.
But yes, that was a long way to say yes. I did Zoom shows.
No, during the pandemic, and because you have a wife and kids, like us being stand-up comedians, we're out late. Are you a night owl? And did that interrupt, things with your wife?
No, you know what? She's very patient with me in my career. God bless her, man. It's she knows, and also we don't really have any help. Like my parents live in Tennessee, and they're great when they come out, but I mean they live elsewhere, and her mom is very sweet, but likes the sauce, and so it's like and she knows it. It's kind of like she's cool. I mean, like when we were there, she would get up super early and like, hey, I'll cook you breakfast, and she'll hang out and play with him a little bit, but we can't like leave him like the whole day with her. You know what I mean? So it's like we kind of have to be strategic. But my point is I've been able to be with him ever since the pandemic, and I work at home or whatever. I'm from 3 to 9. I'm on duty with him.
Oh, okay.
Like if I don't have a show that night, I'm
okay.
within 3 to 9, So
Oh,
I'll take
okay.
him out to the park, we'll play,
Yeah, yeah.
I can do some school with him too. But that gives her a break. When I say break, that means she's either shopping or helping her mom do stuff,
Yeah, yeah.
So, but my point is, so he goes to bed by 9,
Yeah.
and then I'll hang out with wifey at night,
Yeah.
and then she always goes to bed before me, and I'm usually right until 4. There's a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
so it's kind of so she knows it. She knows it. If I'm gonna give her a break 3 to 9, then
Yeah.
I got to be up late,
Yeah,
So
yeah.
and I got to somewhat sleep in, in the morning.
Yeah.
But she's been great about that. I mean, we make it work. It's a different schedule,
Yeah.
But I always tell young gals and girls who are comedians, I'm like, look, if you can find a way to put 8 hours a day in your career, and that can include hanging at the clubs,
Yeah.
that doesn't mean you should have an excuse to get loaded every night, But you know what I mean? That can include schmoozing. That can include, working out, totally. Just try to put 8 hours. And if I'm going to do that, I can't do 8 hours in a row. I got to kind of break it up. So.
Right. Right on. And you were someone that, like, when I met you in 07, you were a headliner back then.
Yeah. I probably, oh my gosh, dude, I've been doing comedy forever, man. I started like when I was in school, so
wow.
I'm 26. Oh my gosh, 27 years it's going to be this summer.
That's amazing,
So,
dude.
it's crazy.
Holy cow. And you look the same, dude.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah,
I haven't
you
shaved, so I probably look a little. I look like with my hair and like dude, I look like a cross between the Muppets and Fraggle Rock. It's, and by that reference, you can tell my age.
Oh, dude, that's hilarious.
But yeah, man, I've been headlining, and some things things have been opening up, which is
Yeah.
cool. I mean, dude, Florida and Texas, they never shut down.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
just kept going.
Yeah, yeah.
Vegas never shut down either. They've been a lot more stringent with like the mask policies
Yeah.
and stuff. I mean, I've got a couple buddies. Oh, you know folks that have residencies out there. Brett
Yeah.
Ernst has a residency. Butch
In Vegas?
yeah.
No,
he-
I wasn't aware of that.
well, okay, so Tuesday, I think it's like every Tuesday and Wednesday, he does a 10 o'clock show at the LA Comedy Club at the Strat. You're welcome, Brad, for the free plug. And Butch Bradley does,
Oh,
he does
okay.
a Thursday to Sunday out there.
Oh, very cool.
And he does a 10 o'clock. He lives out there. And then I think, dude, remember Amir the Miracle?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Our boy Amir, man. He's there every night at 6.
Oh, wow. Dude,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, he's got a great thing. It's there's a crazy redneck magician that like does the headlining, and he opens up and he kills it, man.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
So it's cool that like
Yeah.
a couple of our buddies are
Yeah,
out
that's
there.
really cool. That reminds me of Jonathan or the amazing Jonathan.
Yes.
I just heard he passed away.
I know, man.
Yeah,
R.I.P. I know
yeah.
that's one thing too, man. I love this business, man, and you do meet a lot of new friends. But man, with so many dead soldiers,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
I mean, you mentioned Louis Anderson. I wrote a lot of jokes for him on the show, and he and it's interesting because this is a true story about Louis. I first met him. Oh man, okay, late '90s. Okay,
Yeah.
I was interning on a Dennis Miller show, his HBO show.
Wow, yeah, I remember
And,
that show.
yeah, and it was great. I mean, he won, a bunch of Emmys for it, and
Yeah.
I looked different. I had like a preppy hairdo. It was down. I was probably 20 more pounds of muscle, right? And he called me, man. He never called me Claude. He called me either Blondie, right, or Billy Zabka, for the Karate Kid, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. No Mercy, body bag,
Yeah,
Cobra
oh,
Kai,
that's right.
Who, Brett Ernst is actually on that show. You're welcome, Brett. That's two. But no, it's like, what was I going to tell you? So I looked more like him, and he would always
Yeah.
walk up to me like, "Hey, Zabka, you kick any macho ass today, babe?" So we would film it on this one studio, the old Price is Right studio.
Oh,
right?
cool.
In the CBS.
Yeah.
So we filmed it there, and then Bill Maher, Politically Incorrect, when
Yeah.
it was called that, he filmed it next door.
Yeah.
So Louis was doing an episode of that, and it was just random how this happened. But Jon Stewart was a guest, and he was there, and I just happened to be talking to him while he was like smoking, outside.
yeah.
I just saw his HBO special, and I was like, dude, it was awesome. He's like, I think he was very humble. He was like, you might like it now, but in a year it's gonna be dated.
Yeah,
He was really cool. And we're talking, and then Louis kind of walks in, hey, how's it going, John? Hey, how you doing, kid? And then I ended up kind of meeting Louis, and he invited like me and my girlfriend we gave us like free tickets to see him at the Comedy and Magic Club.
Wow.
Cut to 20 years later, man, I'm like writing jokes for him on on a show.
Yeah.
And he was just as cool and easy to work with. And
Wow.
I gotta tell you, because we've met some divas over the years on that show. Mostly everybody was cool, but there was a few. It was kind of like, ugh, we got to cater to this and that. But he was always
On what
super
show?
cool.
Funny You Should Ask?
Yeah, funny you should ask. The Byron Allen's
Yeah.
show, and but yeah, man, it's it's a shame. I didn't know that he had cancer.
Yeah.
I mean, look, nobody knew that Norm Macdonald had it
Yeah,
either.
right.
But yeah, man, it's I love comedy, man. But I just
Yeah.
always tell the comics, I mean, you can't control cancer, but take care of yourselves,
Right,
man.
right,
Because
right.
we've lost too many, man.
Yeah. Well, I do it because I don't have insurance. So you got to take care of yourself.
No.
I can't afford to get sick.
That's it, right?
Yeah,
no, that was
absolutely.
my thing for a long time. I was just like, I don't get
Yeah,
sick,
right,
Then I had a
yeah.
kid. I'm like, all right, guess got to get another job. Oh my God. You know?
Yeah. No, totally. That's why I don't do snowboarding. I don't ski.
Right.
I don't do any,
How to go to the ocean.
Right.
How to go to Compton.
Right.
I
I wear a helmet everywhere.
Yeah. Actually, I'm okay in Compton because when I started there, I think everybody's kind of startled like, wow, it's the whitest leprechaun I've ever seen. Like, maybe it's not from this planet. You know?
Yeah. That's great, man.
Man. But yeah, no, catch me up. I know you've got this going on,
Yeah.
and you've been here. So if you and I are going to do a show together, it's going to be LA, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. You did my one of my last shows that I was producing. Besides the scene, is at the Workaholics house.
I love that show.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
That was fun.
That was a great. We were just about to. We already had a show, ready, and then the pandemic happened, and we just stopped.
Yeah.
So that sucks.
Do you have access to it now? Or
Yeah,
did somebody...
my brother owns it.
Oh, dude. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I bet
yeah.
you could get it going again.
Yeah, for sure.
Everyone on this podcast should actually just tell them who to write into. Tell them who to email.
Yeah.
We'll get it going.
Well, I just wanted things to get back to normal. You know what I mean? You know, just like everybody else. But I mean, LA is the toughest city out of everywhere. I just got back from Sedona. Nobody wears a mask over there.
Yeah.
And I got used to that. That's so awesome.
Well, that's the thing. It's like I toured I just in Texas and in Florida, and it's so funny. It's like they hate masks so much in both of those. I think they've abolished Halloween. You know? It's like,
yeah.
But I mean, look, I'll be honest. I have spoken to doctors are split on it, but I do know some doctors that are kind of like, honestly, here's the deal. A lot of people reuse their masks and there's gunk in it, and it's unhealthier to do that. You have to either clean it or get a new one. And I mean, nobody seems to be catching COVID outside. I don't really understand wearing.
Yeah.
Here's the two things I understand. Wearing masks outside.
Yeah.
I get it when you're inside. You go to a hospital, whatever.
Yeah.
But if you wear it inside and then alone in your car, what is that?
I don't know.
Nobody's with you. You don't trust yourself.
Right. No. I used to make fun of those people all the time too, Claude. But then after a while, I just found myself wearing it in the car just because I forget I have it on.
That's it. You get so used to it.
Right.
It's an extension of you, right?
Yeah. Because, have you ever gone into a place and you forgot to put it on and you get these looks?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I just got tired of that.
Dude, you know what's so funny? My wife, she was just rushing around, right? She'd rush to the grocery store and get something, and she bought whatever it was. She bought like 5 of them, right?
Yeah.
I think it was like oils or something.
Yeah.
And so this guy, he runs after her in the parking lot. The cashier, she's like, "What?" She's like, "Ma'am, I'm so sorry. I charged you for 5 instead of 1. It's because you're not wearing a mask. I'm not used to seeing faces."
Wow.
Because she was like, "Oh, okay. So yeah, here's the money. Sure."
That's hilarious.
I know.
I'm not used to seeing faces.
Seeing a face,
Wow.
And I miss that too. I miss seeing people's face. By the way, somebody's hot when you could tell just by their eye, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're like,
Definitely.
Jesus, this woman is
Look at the
unbelievable.
bras on
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
No, it's
The
true.
high cheekbones. That's unbelievable. No, but I'll tell you this, though, Eric. We talk about like the new normal and how things have changed. Honestly, I know we've all had to adjust, right?
Yeah.
But honestly, I think who's had the easiest adjustment to like social distance? Stalkers, right?
Yeah.
Because if you think about like as a stalker, right? I mean, not as a stalker, but if you're a stalker, you have to be like what, a minimum of 500 feet away from everybody, right?
Right, sure.
But with the pandemic, you only had to be 6.
Oh.
That's like an upgrade, right? Stalker's like, wait, you mean before the pandemic, if I got to spy my neighbor, I had to do it from across the street with binoculars?
Right.
But now I can do it from inside their bedroom closet? As long as you wear a mask, bro.
Right? Yeah. 6 feet is no problem. Yeah.
Everybody's complaining, I have to wear a mask. Stalker's like, dude, I usually have to wear a ski mask.
That's great.
Roll with the punches, man.
Yeah, it's such a weird time, man, and it's just, people are split, like you said. Some doctors, wear it, some people don't wear it. It's like everyone's just so divided now. It's so crazy.
Well, here's my thing, too. Look, and I get it. Some people are left, some people are right. I never have obliged myself to one side or the other. I personally think, look, man, you vote for who you want to vote for. But I think if you're extreme left or extreme right, it just gets dangerous.
Right.
It's limited thinking.
Yeah.
It's like no matter what, it's like the diehard people for the Lakers or whoever. Like whoever screws up. No, they didn't mean it.
Right.
Well, they screwed up. Right.
Yeah. No, it's true. That's a good point. And a good analogy, too, because any sort of diehard fan that goes to another person's stadium, they're the ones that always gets beat up.
I know.
Like
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird, man. You know, because it's funny too. Because during the pandemic, I got invited to this. What was it? It was it was called an extreme liberal open mic.
Okay,
Right.
yeah.
And I was like, okay, I got the night off. Here I am, Zoom. Yeah, let's check it out. You know, so I go
Yeah,
check it
yeah.
out. And let me tell you something. After watching 12 of these comics in a row, I can tell you, the only thing they hate more than Trump is punchlines. Dude, it was like, look, because I like political comics,
Sure.
but have a joke.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Like I don't want to be preached that. That's all.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. No, exactly. Yeah.
that's
and
it,
a lot of
you know?
people use that microphone to preach, and it's like you said, like, where's the punchline? You know,
That's
Be
it.
funny.
That's
Yeah,
it. I don't care what you talk about, man.
Right,
Just
right.
make us laugh. You know.
Yeah, make us laugh.
But yeah, it is a weird time too, and people are, I don't know, people are like all over the map with it. But here's the thing: nobody can answer this, and I wish I had an answer for this. Why do I have to wear a mask when I go into a restaurant?
Yeah.
But then I take it off at the table
Yeah.
when someone's spitting food on me.
Right.
But then I got to put it on.
Right.
So I want 8 steps to the bathroom.
To the bathroom.
Some dude's taking a shit. I can take
Yeah.
it out. Like what? No
It
one
makes
can
me-
answer that.
yeah,
I just want to
right.
answer that. That's
yeah.
all.
No, I know. Yeah, everything's so mixed up, man, and you know, it's like, it's so confusing, man.
That's
you
it.
know?
Yeah. I tell you this, man. I do so I do cruise ships, right?
Yeah, okay.
They've come back, you know,
Yeah,
which is
oh,
cool.
good.
And they make you do a rapid COVID test, you know,
Yeah,
before you
yeah.
get on the ship. You know, totally understandable. But I got to tell you, man, I took one. I passed all of them thus far. Knock on wood.
Nice.
I took one, and they go, it was inconclusive. We got to do it again. I was like, what
yeah.
does that mean? And she told me it's totally normal. Like the
Yeah, yeah.
nurse was like, no big deal. This happened. It happened to me. Sometimes it
right.
just doesn't read. And then it was fine. But I got to tell you, dude, twice in a row, waiting for that 40 minutes. If I ever find out I only have 40 minutes to live, I'm going to take a rapid COVID test because it's like an eternity. You know what I mean? I have felt more comfortable waiting on STD results. You know, like, oh God, what's going to happen? You know, like, By the way, my kid, he heard me say STD and he asked me, he was like, Daddy, what's STD mean? I was like, oh God, I had to think fast. I was like, it means stupid, terrible decision. Right? I'm not
good.
lying.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. No, yeah, you're not lying.
Dude, he picks up on everything. I
Does
gotta be
he?
careful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
He heard my wife say BS the other day, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, Daddy, what is BS? I was like, it's a grown-up term that means somebody's lying, right? And then he goes, well, what does BS stand for? I was like, it stands for, but seriously? No, I thought that was a cute, like,
Yeah,
quick
it is.
recovery, right?
Yeah.
And then my kid goes, Daddy, that's bullshit.
Oh,
Fair enough, kid. Fair enough.
great. Oh man.
My God.
So do you think he'll grow up to be a stand-up comedian, or do you see him like doing something else?
He might. You know, it's funny. I was thinking about that when he was very young. You know,
Yeah.
he was playing with himself because you know he's young. He's just kind of getting into himself. And you know, my wife was like, "Honey, okay, you know that's enough." It's just like, "Do you have a problem?" And I swear, he looks at her and goes, "It's not a problem. It's just a penis." I'm like, if he's a comedian, that's a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Right. That sounds like a bad punchline on a T-shirt
yeah.
that would sell. That would
Right.
actually. But no, he might be. You know,
Yeah,
he loves to like cut up and stuff. But he seems very athletic. So
Yeah,
I think he's got quite an arm. He didn't get that from Daddy. You know, I play tennis, but he's like, you know, like he looks like he'd be like a ball player. So
Oh, wow.
we'll see. You know, that'd be cool.
Yeah, because you know, I don't think I knew this, but when I was reading over your bio, it said that your dad was a lawyer.
Yes.
Yeah. Is he still a
Absolutely.
lawyer?
Yeah, he still is actually.
Oh,
You know, he
wow.
keeps saying he's going to retire, and then they keep offering like a higher, like, how about would you want to run this firm? You know,
Yeah.
sure. And yeah, it's funny, man, because my dad is I think because he's a lawyer, he does this thing where he only. I don't know if you have parents like this, but like he only remembers like my friends by the worst mistake they ever made.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dude, I'll be like, I talk to like, hey Dad, I just saw Johnny B. He's like, I mean the one who 19 years ago broke my favorite lamp. Like, yeah, that's the one. He's working with Tony. Remember Tony? Yeah. You mean the one who knocked up the stripper? How is Sapphire? You're like, Dad, that's enough. I'm going to go find Mom. You mean the grammar teacher who doesn't believe in birth control? What? He always does this.
Yeah.
And this is an absolute true story, Eric. He does this even with TV shows.
Yeah?
Yes, like he only associates the TV show, but like the character with the worst moral flaw, you know?
Yeah,
I'll give you an example. Like, okay, The Wire. Have you seen The Wire,
Yeah.
right? Excellent show, right?
Yeah.
15 people in it, right? A lot of plots. I swear to God, I show my father one episode of The Wire. This is how he sums it up. I go, hey, Dad, did you like The Wire? He goes, you mean the one about the white married cop that tries to bang all the waitresses? What?
Yeah.
Like he's not wrong, but that's not what the show's about, right?
Right,
You
yeah.
know, it's like, hey, Dad, do you like Game of Thrones? You mean the one about the alcoholic dwarf? I'm like, what? Do you like Breaking Bad? You mean the one about Skyler's klepto sister? Like, you know.
Hilarious. 27 years. That's such a long time of doing stand-up comedy.
I know.
So when you first started stand-up, did you want to be a writer as well, or what was your main goal? Like,
Yeah, well, it's interesting. Yeah, I wanted to do both. I started actually on radio. I started, and radio was really big in the 90s. So I was I was a college kid. I went to SMU, which in Dallas, Texas, which technically stands for Southern Methodist University, but there was nothing Methodist about it, dude. I mean, honestly, SMU should stand for sex, money, and underwear. Okay, it was a party school, but they had an excellent communications program, right? And I was communications major. I was specifically radio, TV, and I was just an unpaid intern for this DJ. It was a morning show. It was like Shark Man in the morning, right? And it was a hard rock radio station, but he was really funny, and he had the bits he did that were very creative, and he thought I was funny, and he's like, "Look, you're not supposed to be on the air, but if you call me on the back line, just call in as some weirdo. The boss is never going to know it's you, right?" So I would do like a redneck character or a British guy or whatever, whoever was in the news, and it kind of caught on, like the little bits caught on. I was like, cool. So I kept doing it, and then the boss found out, right? And he called me, and the programming director, and I was like, oh god, this is over. And I was like, God, I'm going to lose this credit. I got to go back to school and get another credit. And he's like, look, I know it's you. I know you're all those weirdos that call in the morning. And I thought, oh god, here we go. And he's like, so you know what happens now? I was like, what? He's like, now I got to have you be part of the morning show. Now I need you to write and do more voices. I was like, oh, okay, sweet.
That's awesome.
So that's kind of how it started,
Oh, right on.
And we became Shark Man and the Dirt Claude in the morning. I unfortunately had no control over my nickname, but it was cool, man. We did. It was super early in the morning. It was a 6 to 10 a.m. show, but it was broadcast out of Z-Rock, which is the station in Dallas, and it was out of Dallas, but it was into like 35 different affiliates around the country.
Wow.
So yeah, it was cool, man. We were up in Maine, we were like in Reno, just all these different places, and it was great. And then he was kind of a shock jock, so he got fired.
Oh, okay.
So when that happened, I was done too. I still got the credit and everything, but then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take these bits that I've done on the air and just take it to the stage. And then that's how I got into comedy.
Oh,
so,
right on.
you
Very cool.
So,
were you always high energy?
Yeah. I've always been, my persona on stage, that's like me at a party.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
That's I'm the crazy host of a party. But for sure, obviously, I'm not that crazy all the time because I wouldn't want to be around me. But when I started, I would say Jim Carrey was really popular. Chris Farley was really popular. Kramer from Seinfeld, that was a huge hit. So I was definitely influenced, by them. Look, anybody that could do high energy, even in their characters, like Eddie Murphy, Robin Williams. I definitely grew up with watching that. But I was also. It's funny you mentioned writing because I was also really into like Dennis Miller. Regardless of where he is politically or what people think about him, he's always been a wordsmith.
Wow. For sure.
And it was great to watch him. That's the thing. It was awesome to watch him write because the writers would like pitch jokes to him, and he would go, "How about this?" And he would literally replace one word and improve the jokes 10 times.
That's amazing.
So, but I've always. To answer your question, I've always been into I love Stephen Wright and Mitch Hedberg as much as I do, watching Jim Carrey. You know what I mean? If somebody's got the talent of what they do, I'm into it.
Right on. Yeah. Right on, man. You've been a headliner for so long, man, and you've seen like so many different fads happen in stand-up comedy.
It's interesting. Yeah, it's funny too. You mentioned that because I'm thinking about this because I mentioned Hedberg, but I don't know. I bet you remember this too. I know I met you around like 06, 07, but I would say starting in about 05.
Yeah.
Every open mic I went to, the young guys would either be basically doing an impression of Hedberg, Dane Cook, or David Tell.
Yeah.
They watched the Tell when they would end every punchline like this, or they would do, Dane Cook, it would literally be a premise like, could you imagine being a monkey?
Right.
Like, no, you're 40. Why are you imagining being a monkey? Or, here's the big tell with Hedberg, and I still see this, people doing this. When someone in their 20s, usually like early 20s, doesn't use contractions, doesn't say doesn't say isn't, they'll be like, I did not. It is not. Really? You're 22? That's how you talk? Go fuck yourself. So,
that's hilarious.
Right? You saw that too, right? A lot of your shows.
Absolutely. Louis C.K. and then.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. People started saying, eat a bag of dicks.
Totally.
Well, have you noticed anything? Have you noticed any certain fad, lately?
Yeah, like no comedy shows.
I think you nailed it, my friend.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think out of everybody, we got screwed the most, man. I mean, the comedy clubs were like the last to open, man, you know?
Yeah.
There were strip clubs that were open before some comedy clubs. And right now, we're in Redondo right now. And, I haven't seen that, the Redondo, was it Comedy and Magic Club?
Oh, it's gone. I think it's gone. Now, the owner, he does have another club that he's doing, in Hawthorne.
Oh,
The club.
okay.
Yeah.
That's
his,
I didn't know that. Yeah. That one seems like it's shut down.
Yeah. And that was such a beautiful club and a great location,
beautiful. Yeah.
You're welcome, Richard. But yeah, no, it's weird, man. It really is. But I do, like I said, I do notice it coming back, like on the cruise ships, right?
Yeah.
So they brought those back. I've been doing those this year, and they were at 20%. Now they've upped it to 30% capacity. And that I was just on a ship, and it was 25% capacity. I was like, so you know what that means, folks?
Yeah.
Your chances of getting COVID are 4 times less. Right? Bring it in. Group hug. Let's go. But no, they're up in it. At least, I mean, I know Norwegian Cruise Lines, they're up in it now. And then the mask mandate they're done with it in March.
Oh, great.
So that's cool.
Yeah,
So when
really
you
cool.
hear things about that, you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Here's a question for you, right? Dude, my son asked me this, and I was like, wow, that's a very wise question, right? He just heard me talking on the phone about travel, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, Daddy, why are the cruise ships at 25% capacity, but every flight you take is at 100%? Excellent point, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And he actually asked my dad that on a Zoom, and my dad, the lawyer's always got an answer for everything, which is true. My dad, he was like, well, son, it comes down to economics, but you're not going to make as much money on a flight. The airlines won't make much money if it's 25%. And I was like, so your answer is it's really less about health and safety and more about money.
Exactly. No, that's
kind of what I'm getting.
Yeah, sure.
But isn't that crazy? Like my son could be the voice of reason.
Yeah.
He actually, it's so funny because it's me, my wife, and my boy. I'm Claude the Fourth. He's Claude the Fifth, by the way, which is hilarious. Yeah. No OCD in my family. But he's often the most logical person. Like my wife is like very, very spiritual. Yeah. Spiritual, right? So here's an example. I swear to God, I'm in the living room. My wife's in the bedroom. She's like, "Oh my God, honey, come here." I was like, "What? What's going on?" Right, this lamp, the bulb is it's flickering. Right, the lamp is flickering on and off. She's like, "See that? It's flickering." Oh, clearly that's my dad, grandpa talking to me. Right? And I go, "Okay, I'm just kind of going with it. Sure." Yeah. And then my kid goes, "Or we just need a new bulb." I'm like, "All right, I think you nailed it, kid."
Oh wow, that's great, dude.
Honey, if you're listening, I'm totally joking.
Yeah, that leads me to my next question, because I see you have some bits about your wife. Does she ever get angry because she's in the jokes?
I think, what has she told me? She goes, you can talk about anything but my bodily functions. I think that's what I've been.
That's great.
But it's only because she burps louder than most elephants. But I think that, no, I just tease her. She's a really good sport about it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Because and some of the jokes she wins. But there's one, here's one that she always gets mad at, but I think it's funny. It's a true story. We were talking one time, and she goes, "Look, be honest. I know you love me, but you love our child more." And I go, "No, honey, that's not true. It's just a different type of love." Yeah. Right? I figured that's a good answer.
Yeah, it's nice.
Then she doubled down. She goes, "Give me an example." Yeah. Fine. He's always going to be my son. Yeah. But she's a very good sport. I think she's kind of like, oh, he's
dad a divorce lawyer.
Yeah. I know, legal Zoom.
Right?
No, I can't. Listen, man, I don't want to get divorced. I can't afford to leave her with $17 and a Guns N' Roses shirt. Come on, I'm not. No. I think she's a very good sport because she's kind of like, fine, he's a jackass, but you know what? He's taking care of us, so why not?
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, and it's a hard thing to do as a stand-up comedian.
It is, man.
Like to finally get, paid and, have these clubs, look for you. And how's that whole experience been like, getting back into clubs and stuff around the country?
Well, it's interesting because some, like we mentioned, there's some locations, some never shut down. Right. Look, Jimmy Schubert and Flip Schultz, 2 hilarious guys, right? Headliners, been doing it forever. They both relocated to Florida during the pandemic. And they're like, yeah, man, we're always working. So,
Yeah.
I mean, Joe Rogan took a bunch of dudes to Texas,
Yeah,
remember,
yeah,
and because they, and Austin has become like kind of a comedy hotspot for
Yeah,
sure,
yeah.
So yeah, there's different places that have opened, and then some are, just at 25%, 50%. The problem with that is, unless you're a huge celebrity, the money's at 50% too,
Right. Yeah.
So, and no, it doesn't work that way in the cruises. The cruises, because I mean, once the people are on the cruises, I mean, dude, they're selling them stuff. They're buying stuff like from the get go. It's like, hey, you want to buy this art? Hey, check out this restaurant. Hey, are you in Mexico? Let me show you where to go in Mexico. You know what? I got a tour guide. If you pay us, we'll show you exactly what to do. You know, what I mean? Like they never take a break. But yeah, I guess my point is, I mean, some places are harder, and and look, the tough thing I think about doing comedy in the clubs. It's the most fun at the clubs, right? I mean, you're uncensored, do whatever you want. It's the most fun, but it's the least money. And when I say that, I just mean it's the least money compared to a corporate show,
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a company party, a college, a cruise ship, So, although I mean the cruise ships, I think are a lot of fun. They're your show. You do your clean shows, then you do your adult shows. So.
Yeah.
But and look, I'm a married guy. I'm just like a wingman to the single dudes out there,
Yeah.
But I will say, like as a single guy, it's more limiting on the cruises now because you're not really you can't. First of all, you can't cavort with the passengers anyway. But but the entertainers could always party together. But now you're kind of staying separately. So I think like as a single person, it would be frustrating. You know, me, I'm like whatever. I'm just gonna I'll go back, crank one out, write a joke. But I think with the clubs, as you know, you can hang out with whoever you want to,
Right on.
So, but yeah, some are not. I'm trying to think of what else. To answer your question, I think comedians have to find other ways to like monetize, instead of just doing stand up. Like, do you have an album?
Right.
Do you have a special?
Yeah.
Are you writing your own projects?
Right.
I mean, YouTube. Look, as you know, man, you got a podcast. There's plenty of ways. It's not easy.
No, it's not easy.
You know,
you
but
got
there's plenty of ways
to
to do it.
adapt, right? I mean, you've been doing stand up for so long, and you've seen so many different things happen. 9/11 and different things that may hurt stand up comedy, but you got to adapt and change up things, and that's exactly what I'm trying to do as well.
No, and you're smart for doing it, and you mentioned tragic event like that. I mean I try to. I'm a silver lining guy, I'm like I guess the good thing about any tragedy is if anytime someone needs a laugh, it's right after that, So I think it's a lot of us reach out to each other, hey, we're in this together, and let's make the most of it, and let's laugh. And I mean, look, I'm even thinking about the pandemic. Okay, and actually, this is last year in 2021. I lost my therapist. Now she was immune compromised, and she was almost 70. But I know her. She had a very great, like, dark and twisted sense of humor. And so the joke, I know she'd want me to do a joke about her. So it's really quick. But basically, what I do is I go, well, the bad news is I lost my therapist. The good news is at least it wasn't during our session, right? Like, oh, stop talking about your kid.
Right. Sure.
So you roll with the punches, man.
Yeah. That'd be kind of hard to figure out, when her time was up, I guess, when she died. I'm not going to be charged for the full hour.
So can I Venmo you half? We good?
Yeah. Like, Venmo you half. Oh, that's great, man.
Yeah. But it's but yeah, man, that's we just found our way to roll with the punches. It's
definitely. I mean, and what do you think about like modern technology, like as far as like TikTok and like so many ways to see something funny, where back in the day, stand-up comedians had a bigger value, I think, just because there was less places to see a funny video or clip or something like that.
You couldn't. Nobody had a. First of all, people didn't have cell phones,
right?
So you couldn't just have that instant gratification, and not waiting through an hour and a half show. Right. You could do, there's 8 seconds. All right, cool.
Yeah.
It's weird,
Totally. Yeah, it is weird.
I mean, it's cool that it's convenient to people, but at the same time, you know how it is. I mean, there's some comedians that spend hours and hours crafting the perfect joke, and then we get trumped by a kid hitting his father in the nuts with a wiffle ball bat, and that's all right, millions of views,
and that took a second.
You're right, with zero thought.
Right,
the kid didn't even plan it.
Right.
No,
No.
Yeah, I mean, there's a thing right now. I have like on my story right now, and it's just a thing that we set up at home. My son set up a little pulley system, and it was like this jump rope, and he's just like kind of pulling himself like across our entire place.
Yeah.
Right. It's a super long rope, and all I put was like homeschool science class, right? And that's getting more than my last joke. You know. So,
wow, man, that's wild.
but I'm like, okay, he's a cute kid.
Yeah,
you know? Why not?
He's a cute kid.
You know, but it's interesting because it's like again, I talk about like the blessings. I try to turn negatives into positives.
Yeah,
right? And yes, you were absolutely right, Eric, when you're saying like, gosh, there was less clubs, there's less spots to get up, but that's when I started writing more movies and pilots. I'm like, we got to let's stay creative, and let's bring them to life.
Right. No, that's great. And I saw something that you were doing something for the Weather Channel, or is that past, or are you still doing that?
No, it's past. They may pick up again. But,
okay.
But when I was working on Byron Allen's show, he bought the Weather Channel.
Yeah,
right?
I heard about that.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that. Hey, what are you shopping for today? You gotta get some peanuts. You gotta get a smoothie. Yeah, I think I'll get a channel.
Yeah.
My God,
Yeah.
But basically, so he owned it, and then he was putting some casting some comedians in some shows. So there was this one show called Weather Gone Viral. Right, and it's just a crazy weather event that would happen, and it was a lot like, remember the VH1 had Remember the 80s, Remember the 90s, and they would take crazy events, and then comedians would interview and comment on it. So that's what I would do. I would be doing comment on it. But we
right on.
But yeah, we had a cool run, man. Did a couple seasons, and it's fun.
Right on. And did you, because you were on Funny You Should Ask, did you ever meet Bob Saget on there?
Yes. I met him more in the clubs.
Oh,
actually.
okay.
Because he was hanging out. I remember one time, oh my gosh, before I met him, like he knew I was a comedian. I happened to be, this is a long time ago, early 2000s. I was in the crowd. I was talking to Johnny Sanchez. Hilarious
cool. Yeah.
Johnny Sanchez. We're talking about something. My phone goes off. I was like, damn it. He's like, give me the phone. It's fine. Give me the phone. And so I gave him the phone, and he made fun of my buddy on the other end. It was great.
No, wow, that's great.
Yeah. He was like, oh, you're calling Domino's. Can I help you? Good. And then he kept going like, I'm kidding. It's not Domino's. This is the porn store. And then just went off on that.
Yeah.
But he was always like super, affable, easy to get along with, and and a big fan of comedy.
Yeah, definitely.
My favorite joke that he does is that he did was he goes, you should never name drop. Okay, name dropping's a bad habit. Bobby De Niro told me that.
Yeah, that's great.
Did you ever meet him? Did you ever
No,
see him
I
in the club?
never. No. Unfortunately, I didn't. But yeah, I was a big fan of his.
Oh man.
He just loved comedy and So any person like that dies is a shame.
I know. Yeah. You got to think there's got to be a comedy club in heaven, right? And hell too, because you never know where they're going, right? And you got to think that's got to be awesome.
Yeah. No, definitely, man. And so that show that you were creating for Amazon.
The one with the sketch group, Recycle Babies, yeah. So we did. That was fun, actually. We so in the group is Dwayne Perkins, Dwayne, right? And he actually wrote. He and I wrote together. We're in the same office on Funny You Should Ask.
Right on.
So it was great. It was just like cracking up all day,
Very cool.
But yeah, man. So it was myself, Dwayne Perkins, Ian Harris, a very funny comedian, and Ian actually directed Dwayne's Netflix special.
Okay.
He's done a lot of great specials. And
cool.
Let's see, Michael Magid and Sam Ketcherside and Wendy Zader. And then Sam and Wendy aren't stand-ups, but they got like very strong improv backgrounds,
Yeah.
Second City and stuff, and UCB. But basically, it was like the six of us, and we had the web series and a YouTube series that did fairly well.
Yeah. And
then finally we just, we had our own show that we did at the Comedy Central stage, and finally got the right people out. Yeah. And then got the show onto Amazon Prime.
Oh,
and,
cool.
it was just one season, but it was super fun. And we did a bunch of episodes, and it was all sketches, and then we made a through line to it. We made each one kind of had to have a different angle,
Yeah.
I think one was all about dating, and we just called it Swipe Left, and it was all these horrendous dating stories. But it was fun, man. And it was called 3 words, High Land Parking.
Okay.
And it's still available on Amazon Prime.
Oh, hell yeah. Nice.
Yeah, man.
You saw I got my package when you arrived.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I know.
Yeah.
It was funny, too. You guys didn't see it. He had a package from Amazon. It was great. Eric was looking at it like there was arsenic in it. It was great.
Yeah.
You were kind of inspecting.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to kill me? Okay,
Right.
we're good.
And Claude, he said, you got a little package. I'm like, Claude, man. Jesus, how offensive. You just got here. He's always bagging on me.
No hello?
Yeah,
Come on.
No hello. You got a little package, Eric. Oh, geez.
It's been a year and a half.
Claude.
That's your intro?
Yeah. That's what he opens with.
Oh my God. But yeah, man, I don't mean to get off on a rant and start plugging, but just before,
please do.
Okay, okay. No, before I forget, so I started a production company with three friends of mine, three partners.
Awesome.
Ian is one of them actually, and it's been awesome. It's called 3 Degrees Entertainment, and
cool.
check it out and type in the number 3 Degrees Entertainment, and we have a couple things in development. You know, right now, actually, the first thing the thing that's like really going right now is a Killer Book Club, and it's a movie I wrote. It's a dark comedy thriller, right?
Yeah.
And I guess the log line is in an act of desperate self-defense, 4 women in a book club murder a dangerous man. Then they soon become responsible for a string of questionable revenge killings.
Oh,
right?
nice.
So it's kind of like they got to defend themselves, but then it goes crazy down the hill, right?
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
but they're quickly solving problems, but then other problems get created, you know.
Cool.
But it's a lot of fun, man. We have Monica Potter. She's from Parenthood. She was in the first Saw movie. Like
Yeah.
she's done a bunch of stuff, man. You know, Patch Adams with Morgan Freeman. Along Came a Spider. You know, that was huge.
Yeah, yeah.
We have Vivica A. Fox. You know,
Oh, awesome.
And I wrote for her on the show too. You know, on Funny You Should Ask. We Jamie Kennedy, who's awesome. He was on the show too. And he's super easy to work with. He's hilarious. Jay Moore. We have
very
who's
cool.
great, and we're talking this weekend. Actually, we're talking to Craig Robinson. So
very cool.
because he's very friendly with us, but he just shot a show in New Orleans. He's got another movie, so he's a busy guy.
Always doing stuff. Yeah.
I know, and he's super cool, man. Every time I see him, he's like, "What's up, brother?" I'm like, "He called me brother. Oh, he thinks I'm cool." Okay, you know.
Yeah.
We always have a
he's
drink.
Really
He's-
nice.
Yeah, you met him.
And funny.
Yeah.
Really,
You know.
yeah.
But yeah, that's what's amazing, man. Some of these people are wildly successful and like super easy to work with, you know.
Yeah.
And that's the name of the game, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, how many shows have you booked where you're like, okay, funny, they're an asshole. All right, let's
yeah.
not.
No, I know. No, you're totally right. And what you were saying is true. You know, I mean, you were always positive. You know, the glass is half full type of guy, and I think that goes a long way.
No,
know?
you
'Cause
gotta be.
nobody
I
wants
think.
to be around like a negative type of person. You know? what I
Oh
mean?
yeah,
Just-
yeah. No, there's always one that's like, the glass half full, the glass half empty, and then there's someone pissed in my glass. You know, it's always the one negative Nelly, always
Right.
complaining, never their fault, right?
Right on.
But no, it's cool. We have that one. There's one we have called China in a Bull Shop,
okay.
and China spelled with a Y. It's a woman's name, right?
Nice.
But it's really cool.
She's
It's
a stripper. China.
If my friend Crystal Sargent's listening, that was a joke. No, it's great. Crystal, a very accomplished woman. She was a banker, and if you think about it, there's never been any like a TV show about the banking world, right?
That's true.
There's been a lot of legal, there's been a lot of medical, but
Yeah.
not the banking,
Right.
and it's based on my friend Crystal Sargent. It's a very cool story. It's a true story. It's basically like, okay, so she's African American woman,
Okay.
very accomplished banker from Chicago, right? She gets offered a new lucrative job at a bank in San Diego.
Okay.
Sunny and splashy San Diego, and then she quickly realizes, okay, my destiny seems to be controlled by hedonistic older rich white men, you know. But it's a cool fish out of water, true story.
Right on.
And then it kind of goes. She figures out how to beat them at their own game, basically,
Oh, that's cool.
But
That sounds
it's fun. It's like a
funny.
comedy drama.
Yeah, comedy drama.
So we got that, and then these a couple other projects kind of land in our hand. There's a Christmas movie for Lifetime,
very cool.
and which I mean, not my demographic, but they do extremely well.
Yeah,
they have a
yeah.
huge following.
Yeah.
And then there's this children's book that we're helping bring to the screen. So
Right on.
it's a lot of work, but a lot of fun.
Okay, cool. So if people want to look you up, where can they find you?
Oh yeah, just okay. My name is Claude Stuart, so it's spelled Claude, and Stuart is Stuart. Hit me up on IG, Instagram. I recently got over 100,000 followers, so come join the party where we love to interact with each other. It's so I'm just Claude Stuart 4. You can find me on that, and just type in Claude Stuart. My website will pop up, and you'll find out how to connect. But I have I have 2 comedy specials,
for
2 specials that are recently out. One is a dry bar special. If you know Dry Bar, it's a clean comedy, but it's very entertaining. You'll love it. It's called Claude Stuart Optimus Prime. You can find it on the Dry Bar app or just type in drybarcomedy.com. The other one's on YouTube. It's free. It's with the Funny Media Group, and it's called Claude Stuart Skinny Handful.
Oh,
because
nice.
I'm a skinny handful. That's me. And it's uncensored. It's R-rated. So if you're into that, you'll like that.
Right on. Well, thank you for coming over, man. It's always great to see you, man. It's always great
Dude.
having you around, dude. And
Back at you. This is
Yeah.
great, man.
yeah,
it's good catching
for
up,
sure.
man.
For sure. Once I get the Poop Dollar show going at the Workaholics house, I'd love to have you back over there.
Dude, yes. Any
Yeah.
excuse to get out of the house, man. I'm on it, man.
Yeah, buddy. Well, thank you so much, Claude Stewart. Check him out. And that's it for this one. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
I gotta be fresh.